Hello, Virgo, and welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor, and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. So, we got a wonderful card tonight. Every time I do a reading, I shuffle up the cards and I pick out a card. Well, I don't pick, I draw it out. Draw it right out, and it kind of sets the tone for the reading, or at least gives me a little glimpse at maybe what some of the energy might be, right? Sometimes we completely diverge. We don't even talk about the energy of this card once we get into the formations in the tea. Hopefully, this 10 of discs energy really does kind of color the atmosphere of our reading, because we know this is such a wonderful card to get, right? It's all about wealth and abundance, about, completing that thing that you have been working so diligently towards, with, right? Growing your business, your career, your skill set, your relationships, getting your house how you want it, right? All these kinds of things. And yeah, so we're going to go ahead. We're going to go knock, knock, knock. We're going to lift this up. We're going to see what these tea leaves are going to say. And I want to say thank you. I want to tell you thank you for deciding to click on this reading. If you know all about tea leaf reading, or if maybe this is one of your first readings ever, welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It is such an honor for me to be able to read for you. So let's get into this. I'm already seeing... So first, we have it looks like a skeleton, or at least the skull. It looks like the whole body right here. You can see it kind of almost looks like a monkey or something. I almost kind of think it's more of a monkey than a skull. So let's read it as that. We're going to read this as a monkey because you can kind of see the whole body. Here's the eyes, the little nose, and the mouth. Here's the top of the head, and then the body would be here, okay? You can kind of see like it's hunched over a little bit. Here's the front leg, and the other legs would kind of be down in here. Okay, so we have a monkey. We also have, it looks like two really beautiful flowers right here. Also kind of like a lizard energy. It almost looks like the monkey is carrying like a box. You can see like right in here. It looks like a little box. And coming out of it, almost, I thought like, oh, it kind of reminds me of like tissues. But the more I look at it, now it kind of forms into its own face, where you can see, here are the eyes. 1, 2, here's the nose, and here would be the mouth. Right, and it's hard to kind of see it because we already looked at the monkey's face. And I know, I do this all day, every day. Well, not all day, but I read every day, just about. So it's easier for me to see these things because I've trained myself to find them. Okay, so now you can kind of see the face. Here's the eye, and then the nose would be right here, and the mouth. Okay, so we're going to cover this up. This part up here, so you can see that other face. And now it's not wanting to focus. There we go. Okay. So to me, this is almost like the monkey holding, and now it's a box, but it reminds me very much of that oil lamp, right? With the jinn or the genie that comes out and grants your wishes. Now, it's interesting because the monkey actually, we know the story, or maybe you don't. I will kind of sum it up real quickly here. The story of the monkey paw. right? And this is kind of the same energy as the genie or the jinn and granting wishes. So you get the monkey's paw, and I forget how many wishes you get or exactly how that works, but basically you will be granted your wishes. But there's always some terrible twist, right? Something that is just, it makes it a curse immediately. Not at all something that you're excited, you know, the outcome is not necessarily a good one, right? In the very least, it is a strange thing. So I do feel like there's been this kind of, it's almost like the wind has shifted, Virgo, right? And where things maybe were starting to feel almost kind of like, what the heck's going on? I keep getting, you know, dealt like a bad hand. I keep, you know, pulling the short stick. Things are not aligning in the way that you want them to. And you'll have to forgive me. I have been sick. I am sick still. And I need to take drinks and stuff. My throat is just, it sounds beautiful, I'm sure, right? It sounds just great. But thank you. Thank you for putting up with my voice and everything else. So the wind kind of changes, right? And suddenly, yeah, there's like opportunity knocking at the door. There are things coming into your perception that feel exciting, that feel like maybe this is the positive change that I have been wanting, that I've been yearning for, that I've been praying for. But, you know, as a Virgo, and I am also a Virgo, so I know this very well about us. Even if something's super good, it looks amazing on paper, you know, it's like my dream come true. We are very discerning people. Like, we're definitely like the pump your brakes. I want not only for you to explain this to me like I'm a small child, right? But I also want it all printed out. I want complete detail. You know, I want to know everything so I can lay in bed and think about it for days and days and figure out every way this could go wrong, right? And so I feel like for you, there's a real feeling of, I'm not buying into this until I see, right? Until I really see that this is going to work out, that there is some consistency, stability, continuity, you know, all these kinds of things that us Virgos, yeah, we really do. We think often about the long game, right? We're thinking about how things are going to work out over time, not just the right now, right? Yes, we can be impulsive. Yes, we can, you know, absolutely get a little bit aggressive when we're going for what we want, but we are also very calculated about the things that we do and the moves that we make. So I see this and I feel like for you, it is absolutely like, okay, this seems like a good deal, but I have to like weigh all the pros, all the cons. I really need to have all the information. And if that is not there, then I think either it's more do the digging, figure it out, or I don't know, right? Don't just assume, right? Don't just think that things are going to go in your favor, right? We need all of the information. And so, yeah, this is, I think, going to be an amazing opportunity or opportunities, right? But it is something that really needs to be contemplated, right? And here's the deal. This has been my own little personal mantra. Like, mantra, I don't know, it's not really an affirmation, but it's kind of like, yeah, my little pep talk. the little thing that I have to absolutely just say it out loud even sometimes, but it is. Let's go for contemplation, not rumination. And we're really good at ruminating, Virgo, right? And what is the difference? Contemplation is going over something in your mind deeply, looking at it, right? Now you might have an emotional connection or a response, of course, right? We all are gonna have those moments when we are considering things. Rumination is when we get stuck in a loop, right? And we let it take over emotionally, anxiety, depression, just the terror, of thinking something might happen, something might go wrong. You don't know, but it might, right? And us as Virgos, we have to be careful. It's such a fine line with us. So, yes, I do think it's something that needs to be considered. And it's also something that I feel like you really need to listen to yourself when you are having those moments of intuition and allowing yourself to just go with what you're feeling without, again, over analyzing, right? And that's the other thing. We can talk ourselves out of anything. We absolutely can. Now, we have the lizard, but also they are flowers. And to me, this is all about growth, blooming, things coming into power, season, aliveness. I feel like this, just like blooming around you, right? Coming into a place where, I think that, well, listen, we always trust ourselves, right, Virgo? There's very, very few times in our lives where we truly, I think, kind of feel like we've relinquished our ability to know what is the right way, right? Very rarely does that really happen with a Virgo, or at least we perceive it to be that way. And because we are people who try to stay pretty grounded, I think that even when things are, well, they're absurd, they're insane, it doesn't make sense, it's surreal, and it evokes great emotion, moving emotion, like it will shift the landscape of our lives, how we exist, right? How we relate to others, how we decide to okay, you'll have to pardon me. I was trying not to cough for so long there that I started to lose my train of thought, and I was like, okay, I just need to stop and I need to just get it out here. So basically, I feel like we're really good at self-sabotaging. Okay, I'm getting really complicated. Trying to, say this in a way that isn't an indictment, you know what I mean? But it is. We can get in our own way. We overcomplicate things. We overthink them. We make things super hard on ourselves. Right? And oftentimes, don't we already think something is failing way before there's any indication? And have you ever thought, oh, I'm just really good at seeing how things are going to turn out? Or is this kind of a self-fulfilling prophecy? Right? And it's hard to tell sometimes. But what I see happening here for you is I really think that you are very aware. You're very aware of what you need, where you need to go, what is right for you. I think more so than you ever have been. And honestly, I wonder if this has to do with a grandchild or a grandparent. Maybe even maybe it's a child. Maybe you had a child and it changed. It changed how you function, right? How you see the world, how you kind of are living. But I feel like for you, well, here's one thing. Being around kids, having kids in your life, even if they're not your like you're in, doing daycare, or maybe you're a teacher or a social worker or whatever it is, right? Volunteering, whatever it is. When you are around young people who are learning and enjoying and they're exploring the world and they're in awe of things, this is where you want to be because it's so infectious. And I feel you really understanding this about yourself. And I feel like more than any other time in your life, you are unwilling, and I mean it, unwilling to allow this stuff to escape you. You want the flowers. And that the lizard is the elemental, or it's the salamander as well. But for fire, the element of fire. Okay, what is an elemental? It's kind of like an animal spirit consciousness, right? That is aligned with the element. And so we know with that fire, that is that creative force. And it is rising in your life. And you want those flowers. The flowers are, a symbol of things being well. And they are well. And they are growing. And they are blooming, right? And I feel you coming into this place where it's like, I've been here before, and I've been here before, and I've been here before. And I sometimes, feel like it could last forever. And somehow we get away from it, right? We get lost in the tedium and the murk and the busyness and the things that arise, the circumstances of life and the ordeals. But when you start to remember yourself again and you get back to that place, you feel like, I would not give this up for anything. And that's where it's at. I feel, and here I want to show you. We have a person right here. Here's the head, the body. They're holding a child right here. Okay, here's the head of the child. And so this is where I get the real feeling that there is the connection to motherhood, fatherhood, raising the youth, being involved in their evolution and your own self-evolution really alongside that. Now over here we have a child, but we also have a person here with their arm raised and they're pointing up at this bird. And to me, it feels very much like going to the park, going on a walk, being on a field trip and looking and, oh my gosh, look at that. And you stop and you stare. And they say, Mommy, Daddy, what's that? And you tell them, oh, that's a seagull. Oh, what's a seagull? And, you have this discussion and having those moments where you're imparting knowledge. You're part of their growth. They're part of your growth. But to be in a place of discovery and learning at whatever age we are, whatever context, whatever, environment that you're in, to be able to exist within that space as much as you can, I estimate that to be a good life. I don't know. That's just my opinion, right? to be the ever student, to continue to want to know things, to discover, to continually prove to yourself that you don't really know much of anything at all, right? And that's what it feels like to be somebody who's always learning things, right? You think, my goodness, there's just an endless amount of things to learn. Not enough lifetimes to learn it all. But we're going to try, right? I feel like my cough is starting to break up a little bit. I was starting to worry I had pneumonia again. And I don't think so, though. So it just really knocks me off my game, I have to say. All right, let's see. Now, we have the eye up here. Now, I also feel like there is an element of gathering for religious purposes. We also have the crab. You have a special Cancer in your life. And I know, now you might argue with me in the comments, but I know that Cancers and Virgos, they belong together. Now, not necessarily romantically, although maybe, right? I do know that they make great friends. All of my favorite people, aside from my daughter, who's a Gemini, but all of my most favorite people have been Cancers. So I know this to be true, dang it. But I do feel, yeah, like there is a Cancer person in your life. They are important to you, definitely. And they are tied to your spirituality. I see this kind of gathering of like-minded people. This could be your family. It could be your religious community, your spiritual community. I mean, listen, this could be you laying among stacks of books, right? They're holy texts to you, right? And these are the people who talk to you. And I know that vibe. I'm definitely right there with you. All of my best friends are, paintings and songs and books of poetry, right? So we also have the eye, okay? And this is very central here. So I do feel like there is a sense of awakening happening, right? I feel like you're waking up once again. And here's the thing about these kinds of, spiritual paths or interior work or self-development is that we will keep waking up within it over and over and over and over. It never ends. It keeps happening. So it is a good sign. Don't feel discouraged by it. Okay, now we have the side profile of, it looks like a dog, maybe something like a wolf, and music. So I feel like this is a masculine energy in your life. They're really into music, like a very cool person. We also have, it looks like a teacher, a storyteller possibly, somebody of great love. You can see right here, the person sitting and the children. And over here we have the little hearts. And I feel like it feels like there will be, maybe this is that gathering, I don't know, but it feels like there is a time coming up here where you are going to kind of reassemble your little group of, I don't know if they're friends or maybe these are people you've done magical work with. It could be entities as well. It doesn't have to be human beings. But I do feel like there is like a sense of everybody kind of coming together to do this operation in this kind of unified way. Okay, now it doesn't have to be in the physical world. It doesn't mean that you have to, all of a sudden, you're gonna like get together with people you haven't seen in many years. It might be that this is you being called to, you know, your dream world, your interior, and this is where you're doing the work with your, you know, your spiritual accomplices. And, you know, I think that this is something that I see a lot of running and lecturing and hearts being handed to each other. It seems like this is a family, but it's a chosen family. But there's also a lot of like miscommunication there. And I feel like it's like very quickly everybody gets annoyed, you know? And I almost kind of wonder, like, if these are people you knew when you were younger, maybe in your teens, in your 20s, and there was this very kind of idealistic or obsessive or, you know, maybe it had to do with kind of more of aesthetic or, you know, just kind of being part of a scene or whatever it was, right? And I feel like, you know, there were times when things just kind of became very tumultuous, right? A lot of fighting, arguing, sniping each other, that kind of thing. And I feel like maybe this is like what broke the band up, right? And so now it feels like I keep thinking like this is all these years later, you know, coming back together in some way, but there's still, it's like stepping back 20 years ago, you know, instantly, and immediately getting on each other's nerves. And I feel like for Virgo, I don't even have to feel like it. I know it. We get annoyed real easily, right? And so this is going to be somewhere where you have to really exercise your patience. But ultimately, and as I've been reading or, you know, talking about this, I see that we have a person over here who is lifting up a heart. You can see the head here, and here's the body, and a heart being raised. And over here, we have another person who is, and it looks like they're almost handing, I feel like they're almost handing a number 1, there's the 1, here's their head, here's their body, to this face right here. Like they're going to feed it. So there is this feeling of like, of giving, a lot of giving and sharing, and I can't get past the feeling that you're just really suspicious. You're annoyed and suspicious, which really, that should be a shirt, right? Virgo, annoyed and suspicious all the time. But anyways, yeah, definitely, I can definitely identify with that. Now, let's do our 3 lucky numbers. Number 50, 50. If you can hear, we have family staying for the weekend, so the house is alive with music and noise and kids yelling. Number 82. And number 61. Number 61. All right. Now we're going to finish with our self-care affirmation cards. I'm going to stop where it feels right. Oh, I did 2. We're going to have to read them both. All right, so Guardian at the Gate and the Joyful Potion. I'm going to do this one first. All right, laughter fills my life with joy. I surround myself with opportunities to laugh. Laughter is a vitamin for my soul. I brighten the world with my joyful potion. My daughter has started telling jokes. I think she's just like naturally super funny. She's 4. And I know we all think our kids are like the funniest and the smartest and whatever. But she is very funny. And I'm always like, it's because I watch so much stand-up. I love comedy, particularly stand-up and, you know, like the big podcasts and stuff. But I just think she's a natural performer. And it really, I have to tell you, when the day is long and, you know, it's cold, it's really cold here and we're burnt out and we've been running around, we're probably a little bit sick like we always are. And I'm just like, you know, sighing at everything. That one little thing, it could be whatever, you know, like knock, knock, who's there, whatever, right? And that laughter, that smiling, it's the ultimate medicine. So yes, it is the potion. All right, let's see. We have the Guardian at the Gate. I uphold my boundaries. My time, energy, and space are treasures that I protect. I care for myself and say no when I need to. I am the guardian of my life energy. I am the guardian of my life energy. All right. Well, Virgo, I love you. Thank you for spending this time with me. It is totally my honor to be able to do these readings for you. Thank you for putting up with me. I feel like the first part of the reading was like, I was there, I was with it, but man, I had to cough so bad. And now I'm going to make myself cough again. Oh, I had to stop. Stop laughing all the time. I'm like, yes, laughter is the medicine of, you know, of the universe, and I can't. It makes me cough. But anyways, yes, thank you for putting up with my bizarro readings sometimes. I have a hard time like thinking about one thing and then talking at the same time. So it maybe is a little muddled there in a few places. But other than that, I want to say thank you again. I love you. If you want to like the video or subscribe or leave a comment, I'd love to hear from you. Excuse me. Other than that, we'll talk in a few days. All right, Virgo, good night.